You've been lied to. They told you women want the nice guy. They told you women want compliments, constant attention, and sweet words. But if that were true, you'd already be winning. Instead, you've seen it. The guy who barely tries, the one who doesn't seem to care, is the one she chases. It's painful, isn't it? Watching her ignore the guy who does everything right and fall for the man who plays by different rules. But today, that changes. Today, you're going to learn those rules, the ones women don't want you to know, because once you master them, they'll be the ones chasing you. If you're ready to stop begging for attention and start commanding it, comment, "I create desire, I don't chase," and keep watching. Every word of this will shake you awake. Number 1. The calm advantage. Women will never admit this to you, but they are constantly testing the men in their lives. It's not because they're cruel or manipulative. It's because, by nature, women are biologically wired to seek out stability and strength in a man. If you crumble under pressure or react emotionally when things don't go your way, you instantly lose their respect. The truth is harsh, but it's reality. Women cannot respect a man they can destabilize. It's painful to hear, isn't it? You've probably felt that sting before. You're talking to a woman you really like, and out of nowhere, she hits you with something unexpected, a joke at your expense, a question designed to catch you off guard, or even a complaint about how you're acting. If you react by getting flustered, defensive, or apologetic, you've already lost, because what she just saw in you was weakness. And once a woman sniffs out weakness, it's like poison to attraction. But imagine this. She tests you, tries to throw you off, and instead of reacting, you stay completely calm. She's watching for a reaction that never comes. You hold eye contact, smirk slightly, and respond in a way that communicates, "I see what you're doing, and it's not working." That's when everything changes. That's when she realizes she's dealing with a man who's different, a man she can't shake. And that, my friend, is when attraction begins. Women crave emotional security. They crave a man who doesn't ride the same emotional roller coaster they do. Because when a woman gets emotional, and trust me, she will, she doesn't want a man who panics or tries to fix her feelings. She wants a man who can be the rock she leans on. Think about it. Most men, when they sense a woman is upset, immediately jump into fix-it mode. They start over-explaining, apologizing, or worse, getting angry themselves. What they don't realize is that women don't want their emotions fixed. They want them understood. And the most powerful way to show understanding is to remain calm. When she's upset and you respond with calm, steady energy, you're communicating something she's starving for in today's chaotic world: stability. And women are surrounded by chaos. Every minute of their day, they're bombarded by messages on their phones, attention-seeking guys, and a society that constantly pushes them to be perfect. When she meets a man who doesn't add to that chaos, a man who brings peace instead, he instantly becomes different in her eyes. He becomes a refuge. She starts associating you with calmness, with relief from the constant noise around her. That's where the magic happens. The men she forgets are the ones who stress her out. The men she obsesses over are the ones who calm her down. Now let me make this practical for you. The next time a woman tries to test you, whether she throws a playful insult your way or questions your intentions, don't flinch. Don't get defensive. Look her in the eye, take a breath, and respond with control. You can joke back, you can smile and say nothing, or you can turn the conversation around by asking her a question. The point is, you maintain frame. Maintaining frame means you don't let her dictate your emotional state, because once you give her that control, it's over. She'll see you as another man who can't handle pressure, and she'll lose interest faster than you can blink. You've seen this play out before. Maybe you've been on a date, and everything seemed to be going well until she suddenly started acting distant. She tested you, and you didn't pass. You probably didn't even realize it was a test. Women test men subconsciously. They're not doing it to be mean. They're doing it to see if you're a man they can trust when things get tough. Because if you can't handle a little playful challenge, how are you going to handle real life when it gets difficult? Women are biologically programmed to seek out the man who can protect them emotionally and physically. And in today's world, emotional strength is what separates you from the pack. Here's a scenario. She accuses you of something ridiculous, maybe saying, "You probably say that to all the girls." Most men would jump to defend themselves, saying, "No, I don't. I'm different. I really like you." But you stay calm, smirk, and respond, "You caught me." She'll laugh, but internally, she'll be intrigued. Why? Because you didn't react like every other guy. You maintained your composure, and that shows confidence. Confidence is the one thing women cannot resist. Think about how rare it is to meet a man who doesn't let external circumstances shake him. Most guys panic when a woman shows even a hint of disapproval. They bend over backward trying to fix things, trying to get her approval. But women don't respect men who seek their approval. They respect men who don't need it. When you show that you're unfazed by her tests, you're telling her, "I don't need you to validate me. I validate myself." That level of self-assurance is magnetic. It draws women in because they see you as a man who's already complete. You're not chasing her attention because you're secure in who you are. And that's when she starts chasing you. If you want to be the man she can't stop thinking about, master the art of staying calm. When you do, you become the rare man who stands out in a sea of guys who are constantly seeking approval. Women notice that. They feel it. And once they feel it, they don't forget it. Your calmness creates a lasting impression that lingers in her mind long after the conversation ends. She'll replay your responses, wondering how you managed to stay so composed. And before she knows it, she's hooked. Number 2, silence speaks louder. Silence isn't empty. Silence is power. In a world where everyone is desperate to be heard, the man who can stay silent becomes a mystery. And women are drawn to mystery like moths to a flame. Think about how rare it is to meet a man who isn't constantly talking, constantly texting, constantly trying to fill the void. That man stands out. Women are surrounded by noise, endless messages from guys trying to impress them, social media notifications, conversations that go nowhere. But the man who can sit in silence and make her wonder what he's thinking, he's unforgettable. When you stay silent, you create tension. And tension is the fuel of attraction. Most men are terrified of silence because they think it means the conversation is dying. But here's what you need to understand. Silence isn't the end of the conversation. It's the moment when curiosity begins. When you leave a pause after she says something, you give her space to fill that gap. And in that space, she starts thinking. She starts wondering what you're going to say next. She starts wondering if she's losing your attention, and that's when attraction kicks in. Imagine you're on a date, and she tells you a story about her weekend. Most guys would jump in with their own story, trying to keep the conversation flowing. But you listen. You maintain eye contact. You nod occasionally, but you don't interrupt. When she finishes talking, you let the silence hang for a moment before responding. That pause is powerful because it shows you're not desperate to speak. You're comfortable in your own presence, and that's rare. Women crave mystery because mystery triggers their imagination. When you don't reveal everything about yourself right away, you give her a reason to keep coming back. She wants to know more. She wants to uncover the layers of who you are. But if you overshare, if you tell her everything about yourself within the first hour, you kill the mystery. She knows exactly who you are, and there's no reason for her to stick around. Now let's talk about texting. This is where most men fail miserably. They think that the more they text her, the more interested she'll be. But the opposite is true. When you're constantly texting her, you're showing her that you have nothing else going on in your life. You're available at her convenience, and that's a turn-off. Women don't want a man who's always available. They want a man who's busy living his life. When you take your time to respond, you create anticipation. She starts wondering why you haven't replied yet. Is he with someone else? Is he busy working on something important? That curiosity drives attraction. Here's the key. When you do text her, make your messages count. Don't engage in pointless small talk. Don't send her "good morning" and "how was your day?" texts like every other guy. Instead, be intentional. Send her something that sparks her interest or makes her laugh. And when the conversation is flowing, don't be afraid to end it first. Tell her you have to go and leave her wanting more. When you end the conversation on a high note, she'll be thinking about you long after you've stopped texting. In person, silence is your secret weapon. Use it to your advantage by letting her do most of the talking. People love talking about themselves, and women are no different. When you listen more and talk less, you position yourself as the man who understands her. And women are naturally drawn to men who make them feel understood. But here's the twist. You don't reveal everything about yourself. You give her just enough to keep her intrigued. Drop hints about your life, but don't give her the full story. Make her work for it. Women are naturally curious. They want to know what you're thinking, what you're feeling, and why you're not like every other guy who overshares. When you master the art of silence, you create a dynamic where she's chasing your attention instead of the other way around, and that's exactly where you want to be. Number 3, playful but untouchable. Women are experts at reading energy. They know when a man is needy, and they know when a man has options. The problem is, most men think that being liked by a woman requires constant agreement, compliments, and being overly nice. That's the guy who ends up in the friend zone. Women respect men who know how to flirt, but not in the predictable, over-the-top way most guys do. You've seen them before, guys who shower women with attention and praise, thinking that's the way into their hearts. But you've also seen how these guys fail every time. The man who wins is the one who teases her just enough to keep her intrigued, while showing her with every interaction that he doesn't need her approval. Most men are terrified of teasing a woman because they think it'll offend her. They've been conditioned to believe that being playful is risky, that women want sensitive men who hang on their every word. But women don't want sensitivity, they want excitement. A woman's attraction grows when she's emotionally engaged, and one of the fastest ways to do that is through playful teasing. Why? Because teasing communicates confidence. When you tease her, you're subtly showing her that you're not intimidated by her looks, her status, or the attention she gets from other men. You're telling her, "You're not special to me just because you're attractive. You'll have to earn my attention." Let's say you're talking to a woman at a bar. She mentions that she's obsessed with a certain Netflix show. Most guys would jump in and say, "Oh, I love that show too," thinking that agreeing with her will score points. But that's exactly what every other guy is doing, and she's bored of it. Instead, you smirk and say, "You like that show? I thought you had better taste." She'll laugh, maybe playfully hit your arm, and that's when you know you've hooked her. Why does this work? Because you've created tension. You're not insulting her, you're challenging her in a fun way. And women crave challenges. They don't want a man who agrees with everything they say. They want a man who makes them work for his approval. Teasing isn't about being mean or condescending. It's about keeping the interaction light, playful, and unpredictable. Women are used to guys who either overdo the compliments or act overly serious. When you strike the perfect balance of teasing and charm, you become the guy she can't figure out. And the moment a woman can't figure you out, she becomes obsessed. It triggers her curiosity, and curiosity is the gateway to attraction. She starts thinking, why doesn't he act like the other guys? Why isn't he trying to impress me? That's when she starts chasing you, even if she doesn't realize it. Here's where most men go wrong. They don't know when to stop. Teasing is powerful, but if you overdo it, it can backfire. You don't want to come off as arrogant or condescending. The goal is to make her smile, laugh, and feel excited. If she's responding positively, you've struck the right balance. But if she seems offended or withdrawn, pull back and recalibrate. This is where emotional intelligence comes into play. Pay attention to her body language and tone of voice. If she's leaning in, laughing, or playfully teasing you back, you're on the right track. Remember, teasing isn't just about the words you say, it's about your energy. You can say something as simple as, "Wow, you're really confident, aren't you?" with a playful smirk, and it will have a completely different effect than if you said it in a serious tone. Your energy should communicate that you're having fun, that you're enjoying the interaction without needing it to go anywhere. Women can feel when you're genuinely confident versus when you're trying to fake it. And genuine confidence is irresistible. Teasing also sets the stage for one of the most powerful dynamics in attraction, the push-pull effect. When you tease her, you're pushing her away, creating a moment of tension. But when you follow it up with warmth, maybe a compliment or a smile, you're pulling her back in. This back and forth creates an emotional roller coaster that women find addictive. It's like a game they can't stop playing. But unlike most games, this one works in your favor because you're in control of the outcome. You're the one dictating the pace of the interaction, and she's the one trying to keep up. Here's what you need to understand. Women don't fall for men who are easy to figure out. They fall for men who make them feel something. And teasing, when done correctly, makes them feel alive. It awakens their curiosity, their competitive spirit, and their desire to be the one who gets your attention. But the key to making it work is this. You have to show her that, while you enjoy her company, you don't need her. The moment she senses that you're putting her on a pedestal, the attraction dies. But when she senses that you're perfectly fine with or without her, she can't help but want more. Number 4. Nonchalant physical contact. Physical touch is one of the most powerful tools in attraction, but it's also one of the most misunderstood. Most men either avoid it entirely out of fear of rejection or overdo it and come across as creepy. But when you understand how to touch a woman in a way that feels natural, effortless, and exciting, you unlock a level of attraction that words alone can't achieve. The secret is to make your touch feel like an extension of the moment, not a deliberate move to get closer to her. Think about the last time you accidentally brushed up against someone you were attracted to. That brief moment of contact probably sent a spark through your body. Now imagine creating that same spark intentionally, but in a way that feels organic. That's the power of nonchalant physical contact. When you touch a woman in passing, whether it's a light touch on her arm during a conversation or a brief brush of your fingers when you hand her something, you're planting the seed of attraction. It's subtle, but it's powerful. Women are highly attuned to physical cues. They can tell when a touch is genuine versus when it's forced. The key is to make your touch feel like a natural part of the interaction. If you're laughing together, lightly touch her arm as you lean in. If you're walking side by side, let your shoulder brush against hers. These small moments create a sense of closeness without making her feel like you're trying too hard. And the best part? Because the touch is brief and nonchalant, it leaves her wanting more. Touch triggers the release of oxytocin, the hormone responsible for creating emotional bonds. But here's the catch. Too much touch too soon can have the opposite effect. If you come on too strong, she'll feel uncomfortable and pull away. The goal is to create a balance between attraction and comfort. You want her to feel excited by your touch, but also safe and at ease in your presence. Pay attention to her body language. If she's leaning in, touching you back, or smiling, you're on the right track. If she's pulling away or avoiding eye contact, ease up. Think of touch as a way to communicate without words. When you touch her lightly during a conversation, you're saying, "I'm comfortable with you, and I want you to feel comfortable with me." And when she responds positively, it's her way of saying, "I trust you." Trust is the foundation of attraction. Without it, there's no connection. But with it, you create a dynamic where she feels drawn to you on a deeper level. Number 5. Leave her wondering. One of the most overlooked aspects of attraction is knowing when to leave. Most men think that the longer they stay in a conversation, the more time they have to win a woman over. But staying too long can kill attraction. Women are wired to respond to mystery and anticipation. If you give her everything in one interaction, there's no reason for her to think about you after you've left. But if you leave her wanting more, she'll be replaying the conversation in her head long after you're gone. The key to leaving her wondering is timing. You want to exit the interaction at its peak, when she's laughing, smiling, and fully engaged. Don't wait for the conversation to fizzle out or for an awkward silence to creep in. When you leave on a high note, you leave a lasting impression. Smile, give her a brief but meaningful goodbye, and walk away confidently. Don't linger, don't hesitate, and don't look back. Women are naturally curious. When you leave before she's ready for the conversation to end, you create a sense of unfinished business. She starts wondering what would have happened if you stayed longer. She starts thinking about the next time she'll see you, and that anticipation is what keeps her hooked. Think about it. How often do you find yourself thinking about someone who left you hanging? The same principle applies to women. When you leave her wanting more, you become the man she can't stop thinking about. And the best part? You've done it without trying to impress her or win her over. You've done it by controlling the frame and walking away on your terms. Flirting isn't about trying harder. It's about mastering the balance between attraction and detachment. Women don't fall for men who give them everything. They fall for men who give them just enough to keep them coming back. Comment below, "I create desire, not chase it." Support the channel by subscribing and sharing this video so more men can learn the truth about attraction.